That is the goal of the left's propaganda, and that is why they have sought to control the media through which they intend to tell a lie long enough people begin to believe it. And, in addition, from Alinsky, the man who was called Hillary Clinton's Rasputin, we also get, if you push a negative hard enough, it will push through and become a positive. That is why they continue pushing socialism, and why they never let up on Trump. They still criticize and blame him for anything they can think of, even if they have to make it up, and they keep doing it because they can get away with it. Can't be sued for slander, and through controlling the media are keeping the pressure on. They are terrified that he will succeed in the upcoming 2024 election, and have made desperate attempts trying to fix it so he can't, lest he prosecute the entire Biden family and expose frauds like John Kerry, Anthony Fauci, certain states' behaviors in the 2020 election, et al. Their efforts have failed so far. But they are still trying. Trump is still running, and the left may get more desperate as the campaign season progresses, and Trump's poll numbers keep climbing. Even our church leaders are literally making deals with the devil. Homosexuals run roughshod over businesses, schools, entire church denominations, and governments at all levels. Among the church denominations being conquered by Satan through homosexual clergy is the Catholic Church. The church originally established by Jesus through his apostle, Peter, in the 1960s. The Catholics were having a hard time recruiting young men to the priesthood because of the prohibition against priests marrying. So, the church leadership decided to recruit gay men to be priests, and thought that would solve the problem because marriage should not be an issue with them. In time, they discovered they had traded one problem for another, and it was a move that resulted in hundreds of sexual assaults on children. Through the next decades, the gay priests moved up the ladder by promotions, and they recruited more gay priests to fill the vacancies created in the process. If Catholic nun, Mother Miriam, is right, and half of priests and bishops are now gay, the church could have avoided such a personnel policy, and they would have saved more than $3 billion in the United States alone that was lost through child sex abuse lawsuits. Not to mention the psychological damage done to the children. Godless Marxist socialism is making progress in America through disinformation by our educational system, financial seduction of politicians, and assistance by the mainstream media. By controlling the media, their plan seems to have worked during the 2020 election, and when they want to brainwash school children and even adults. And each day is a new attack on centuries of established policy, convention, practice, values, culture, and common sense. So, the question stands as presented early on herein. What the hell is happening? It should be clearing up by now. Here are a few more thoughts for the masses. Since Roe v. Wade was decided by America's Supreme Court, we have sacrificed approximately 62 million of our unborn on the altar of profit. Roe legalized infanticide in 1973 in certain leftist states, and Hillary Clinton are now agreeing that preborn babies do not have constitutional protections because they are not persons as defined by law, and a fetus is nothing but a collection of tissue. Can't that be said of every living human on earth, including Hillary Clinton? Aren't we all just a collection of tissue with some having more than others? Does it mean skinny people should be killed because they have less tissue than Hillary Clinton and, thus, don't have enough tissue to be called a person? Exactly how many cells does a human have to possess to become a person? And it was proposed in Virginia by a Democrat governor that even post-born babies who survived abortion can be made comfortable until they can ultimately be killed, if the mother and her doctor agree, just because the babies were inconvenient. What kind of monster can go into a room where this comfortable baby lies helpless on a gurney or operating table and kill it? This sounds about as logical as Nazis deluding themselves into thinking they were being tender, loving humanitarians because they gave chocolates to Jewish children who were on their way into the gas chambers. Follow the breadcrumbs from crisis pregnancy centers, And they might lead you to Planned Parenthood's abortion mills, where infanticide is a billion-dollar business by a company who donates big bucks to the Democrats. And we can see why and how they try to convince women that they have a right to decide about their own bodies, and the government should not interfere with their reproductive rights. Pardon me, ladies, but abortion isn't about reproductive rights or a matter of reproducing at all. It's about not reproducing. Perhaps men and women both do have the right to decide on issues concerning their own bodies. But does that right extend to deciding about someone else's body? The body growing inside the woman. In other words, there are at least two bodies in the equation. Pardon any narrow-mindedness in this case, but the baby's body is not the pregnant woman's body. In other words, the baby is just along for the ride in his ever-continuing quest to be a thorn in God's side. Is this Satan's counter-punch at God's nose because he told his new creation of mankind, "Be fruitful and multiply"? Here's another factoid to be aware of concerning the issue of abortion. See an actual post by Cosmopolitan magazine which shows text raising the question, so how does a satanic abortion ceremony even work? The video, posted by Brilliant Riggs, is located at the link noted, and it talks about an abortion clinic in New Mexico which, for some reason, is named after Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito's mother. Of course, Alito is not his mother's keeper, but they apparently try to convince women in crisis with unwanted/and planned pregnancies that they offer free ceremonial support to anyone. But what kind of support? What kind of ceremony? Hold on to your bloomers. It's free satanic ceremonial support. As they say, not much of anything is free. It could cost somebody their soul. But there's more. This clinic is connected with the Satanic Temple and offers women the familiar escape clause that it is their right to have an abortion.